What do you feel like?
Being quiet.
Mm-hmm. Like $1 million.
$1 million.
That's dang.
Nice.
Okay, we're live, guys.
And welcome into Indian Time here on MuscogeeMedia.com, our daily stream that we bring to you to sort of run down all of the things that are happening as they happen each day here at Muscogee Media. And I am joined now with Sterling Cosper, the editor of the Muskogee Nation News.
Hello again.
Sterling, great to have you always. And bringing up some of the stuff we have going on this week. Just today in studio, and you'll see this weekend on Native News Today. And if you don't want to wait for that, you can watch on YouTube, our online channel. It should be up momentarily, I think actually this afternoon. Yeah,
it's up.
It's up right now, actually.
It's on the
you
site.
can go and look on MuscogeeMedia.com, and you can see here on our videos an interview with Aaron Carapella. Aaron's dropped in, and Aaron's our friend that is basically a tribal cartographer. Mm-hmm. He's made maps, and he's made now over 25 of the original locations and original names of tribes and tribal people around the country. I want to kind of show some of these pictures. So Jared, if you'll go on here, this is from his website, tribalnationsmaps.com. You can see they're in, he's got them in classrooms and things like that he's taken into people all over the Tribal Nations map. Look at all those tribal nations.
Yeah, it's incredible. You've had a map of his up in your office since the last time you spoke with him, and I always get a little sucked in by it whenever I walk in.
Right, and that's what I was telling Aaron today, is that just about everybody that stops in asks about the map, and they want to ask about it, and they talk about it and how neat it is and everything like that. And he was really glad to hear that, of course, because it's his life's work is putting these maps together. So pretty cool progress that he's made. And we first interviewed him about 3 years ago, and since then, he's got him a new website here, tribalnationsmap.com, as I told you, and you can go on there, tribalnationsmaps.com, and you can even go in and buy maps. So that's kind of cool.
And that's all linked to our story too. So if you go to Muscogee Media, there's a link to it in the.
Yeah. See, available maps are Alaska, American Indian Reservation map, Canada, the Caribbean, Central America, and then he's got sets of maps in Mexico, Native America, regional U.S. maps, the Southwest, South America, Southern Hemisphere, special run maps. You're going to see some trailing in there and everything like that. And then the Tribal Nations map, which is basically all of North America and Central America.
Yeah, and that's the one you have in your office, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
What I like is there's a lot of information there, but he's made them very sightly, too.
Yes.
They're very presentable.
Yeah, it's something that you can put on your wall. It's something that you can put in your office. And anytime that somebody comes in, it's like having an open textbook on your wall that people can look and observe and see accurate written history. And a lot of the things that he's talking about, you'll see in the interview, he's gotten feedback from these people themselves, the tribes, the people that know, the traditional people. So really neat. Glad to have him in again, and can't wait for you all to see that. As I said, at MuscogeeMedia.com, videos section, an interview with Aaron Carapella. It's our newest video. You can see it right there in the video section, of course. An interview with Aaron Carapella. That'll take you, if you click it there, straight to the site to watch that video right there. There you can see my ugly mug. And we sit down and talk about his map. So it's a good time. Great visit there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, Sterling coming in as the Native Vision Camp. That's coming June 9th through the 11th, 2016, here at the Creek Nation. And what's neat about this is that it's a national organization, but they're coming here to our place. So if you go on their website, it's they do a lot of things, but they also hold on, let me bring that back. They do a lot of things, but they only have like one big camp, and this one will be in Altmulgee. So if you go on there, and you can see that they're really putting all their chips in a basket for this place.
Yeah, you told me that traditionally they go on what you call a classic reservation most of the time. Mm-hmm. So this is the first time they're visiting Indian territory here in Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. The sports in an age groups would be lacrosse, 7 to 18, soccer, running, Running will be 9 to 18, volleyball 11 to 18, basketball 11 to 18, and then football 12 to 18. It's a free event. Applications are due Monday, June 6th. You can get those into the Muscogee Creek Nation Cultural Center and Archives office, the Native Vision Camp at mcn-nsn.gov will be where you can get an application or request one. And get it into their office, and or you can register online at www.nativevision.org. So we'll be getting an interview with a woman representing Native Vision also today to get more information out there about what it is and what they do.
Yeah, some good pre-festival recreation there for the summertime.
Absolutely. The big news item for us today, we have been reached out to and granted a request to talk with an official. The official that we'll talk with is Principal Chief James Floyd.
Yeah, that's correct. Jessica, who's taken the lead on the story, has been negotiating an interview with the Office of Public Relations. We originally asked to speak with several officials. However, Chief Floyd is going to try and answer our questions on Thursday mornings when it's scheduled. They asked that we did provide questions ahead of time, citing concerns on getting all the information in front of them. So we went ahead and agreed to that, and our coverage is going to reiterate that when it's completed. Nonetheless, we're looking forward to speaking with them, as we've done a lot of research through a lot of material, and now we're going to get some officials to speak to our findings a little bit.
Sterling, can you tell the folks that are watching us at home or wherever they are a little bit about why we don't like to give out predetermined questions to journalists?
And you'll see this in the press a lot, and especially here during campaign season, some formal meetings, off-the-record meetings to negotiate terms on some more high-interest, maybe higher controversy pieces in order to get things on a level that people are comfortable with. Naturally, we wouldn't initially try to lead with that. However, some things do have to be borne out in negotiation. We just need to be upfront about it. The industry term is called prior restraint, and so that would be in instances where you provided questions ahead of time. So the mentality and concerns being that they have time to think about their answers. Say there's something that's a little more controversial that we'd like a more candid response. Sometimes those are regarded as more honest or pure. So you have to kind of take those things into consideration. Prior restraint could also mean once the story's completed, they would ask for an agreement where they could read the material before it goes to print. And both of those things, most of the time as a rule, would be declined. However, there are some instances where we have to think about it. If it is in the best interest to get the interview, then we might look at considering some parameters along those lines.
I'm glad you explained it that way, because my next question was going to be and explain our decision to compromise in this case. So yeah, that's a great example of not really holding too hard of a line when we really need this information out. And also Principal Chief James Floyd has been gracious with his time with us to this point, and granted us interviews, and has been candid and has talked about some tough issues. So for us, there is the ability there to say recognize that and work together to get the information out. So,
yeah, it's just that you're going to see it reflected in ours, because the citizens need to know what filters their information are going through.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
There's a question of purity when you're providing those things ahead of time. We just want them to be aware of where that is coming from and what lens it's being looked at.
Very good. All right, well, that'll be Thursday morning, and we'll have something packaged together for that probably by that afternoon or the next day, and should have it to you out on all of our outlets, so be looking for that as well, hearing from Principal Chief James Floyd. Also, big news out of the Muscogee Creek Nation District Court. Was informed by Bobby Yargi, who's over there at the district court this morning, just in passing. He was like, hey, I need to tell you something. We got something pretty neat going on. We're at the district court. Judge Bigler's heading it up, but there's a committee to translate the UN indigenous laws, United Nations indigenous laws, into the Creek language. Now, we spearheaded this and started up, the idea to do this, and Bobby was telling me that tribes now have reached out to us from out in New Mexico. There's a few tribes out there in New Mexico that reached out to us and wanted to do the same thing, sort of follow suit with their own respective languages. So a bit of a trailblazing ideal here, and I think it's pretty neat to be able to take something that's so wants to encompass, like UN Indigenous law wants to encompass all Native peoples, might as well have it in the correct Native languages for those respective situations.
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, we have our staff member Amanda Rutland over there. She might be back by now, but she was going to cover that. And I guess on that note, an announcement, we found out that Amanda is departing our staff here by the end of the month, so we want to thank her for all of her service as she's moving on.
Yep, and wish her well in all of her future endeavors. She's done a good job here, and we appreciate it. Our last item of the day would be Earth Day coming up Friday, the Environmental Services Department at the Muscogee Creek Nation. This is their big event every year, Earth Day, of course. They do a good job over there. They always have, they've really, been out in front of a lot of things as far as tribal environmental services with not only, all of the work that they do in conjunction with the housing and all of the things that need to be done there, but having a recycling center built here at the tribe that's tribally owned, that's done from, tribal taro businesses and also tribal construction. So they're doing a great job with environmental recycling. They have recycling bins all over the tribe and everything like that. And Earth Day, they have a cleanup. So Friday, that'll start in the morning around 10 o'clock, I think. I believe so. It'll be April 22nd.
It's starting at noon.
Starting at noon, okay. It's over at the college, so.
And something to look at, too, is that event is on Friday, but Gary Fife is going to have James Williams, the manager there, tomorrow on the radio show to talk a little bit more about that. He'll also be speaking with Rachel Sourjohn, the former Miss Muscogee Nation, now with College of the Muscogee Nation, about the teen pregnancy event on May 4th at the Dome. And I think that about covers it for his show. Also going to be running the second part of that James Pepper Henry interview, the Gilcrease Museum director.
Yeah. Let me look into the future of Gary Fife. This is the question coming from Gary tomorrow. You guys do any work with Greenpeace? No, man. He's gonna grill him. It's gonna be a tough interview, James. You better watch out. Gary Fife's on the crowd.
People that want to participate. Where do they go?
Yeah.
And yes, Muscogee Radio, 10 a.m. on KOKL, the Brew.
Earth Day. Go to the college. It's on Friday at noon. Show up at the college. Registration, a pop-up tent. It'll begin at 1 is the cleanup, and it goes to 3. And then over to the recycling center, of course, over by the transportation building. Food, refreshments, outdoor, great door prizes afterwards. And so it was a very big success last year. They're wanting to see another big.
They found a couple snakes apparently.
Yeah.
Along with some trash.
The recycling center is at 3571 Industrial Place. That's in Old Muscogee. And you can contact Justina with Environmental Services to sign up. 918-549-2580. All right.
Yeah, and I'd be remiss not to go back to my plug for Muscogee Radio, Wednesday, 10 a.m. on KOKL AM, the Brew of
I'll
Muscogee.
cook up another Gary impression if you want me to.
Okay.
No, never mind.
Yeah, you can also find links to a live stream of it and also archives. You'll see a promo posted with Gary's photo on our Facebook page.
That is a
Muscogee
lovely
Nation News.
Hold on, that is a lovely photo.
Yeah, let's get it up.
Let's get it up. Look at that.
There he is.
Get it. Go ahead, Jared. Hurry. Man. What a lovely man.
Yeah.
All right.
Looks like he has to use the bathroom.
No, it doesn't. he looks like he's really cooking up a good cooking up a good question.
It scares me to be
really
on mic
come with something good there.
with that regal pose right there.
I know,
showing
right?
it how it's done.
We could go on. I could go on with Gary, and we could be talking about the festival, and I'm nervous walking in.
Yeah.
You just never know. Those toes are going to be held to the fire.
That's right.
All right. Well, everybody, we have a lot of fun around here, of course, as you see at MuscogeeMedia.com. Check us out, all of our outlets on Facebook and YouTube, also Twitter, and we all are on Instagram now, too. So check us out there at Muscogee Media. We got a Muscogee Media Facebook page now, too. We got more. We got Facebook pages coming out our ears.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if anything's ever going to get posted.
Well, we've delegated appropriately so that's not falling all on one person's shoulders. Muscogee Media, of course, more dedicated to some of our internal functions and things like that, along with our Instagram pages. However, we got Native News Today and Muscogee Nation News for your hard news.
Yeah. Man, when people look at our job descriptions, they're like, "My goodness, this is a novel. You have to do a million different things," and it's like that
keeps it interesting.
That's exactly right. It's part of the deal. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in to us here each and every day, Indian time on MuscogeeMedia.com. We'll keep it entertaining. We'll keep it informative. And Sterling, thanks for being with me today.
Thanks for having me.
You got it. This is Jason Salzman, Sterling Cosper. See you guys tomorrow.